want to thank everybody for coming. I apologize for our schedule changes. As most of you are all old baseball players, you understand that's what happens with the game of baseball. You have to move things around the weather. Unfortunately, pardon? Yes, we should have put a dome on it, right? Unfortunately, we couldn't do this today in our new Globe Stadium and use the video board. I have pictures of these guys that we were going to put up and do all kinds of neat things, but I guess we'll have to settle for the old cafeteria here. So thanks for coming. One other thing, one of our inductees, Freddie Reyes, is on his way, but he's not going to get here probably until about 6:30. So he's going to meet us over at the Walt Silver Pub. And when he shows up there, we'll do his ceremony. Now I'm going to read it as we sit here today, just to honor him. But then once he gets to the other pub, we'll do his ceremony over there. I think he'll appreciate that. A few housekeeping things here. I want some of the teammates of these guys, if you would please, to stand up. And I think I know most of your names, but I might get them wrong. If you guys would stand up and introduce yourselves, because we really appreciate it. I'm sure these guys do too. You guys coming. So if you would, stand up and then just say who you are.
Matt Smith, 92 95. Brendan Tevin, 94 95.
Mike Griffiths, 93 95.
Brad Dozier, 94. Braille Tinden, 92 95.
Did we miss anybody? Okay. And I'd like to introduce a guy that I think coached some of you, Coach Ryan. You just missed coaching play. And Ed Gilliland, Ed, would you stand up? And his wife, Marie stand up too. Ed was our coach from 94 through 97 here. So round of applause for these people. I'll take the blame and the credit for bringing Ed down from the floor. Also in attendance is some of our former athletic administrators, former AD, Maury and Maury, stand up. And one of his assistant ADs is here, Carlin Smith. Carlin. And then we have some former Hall of Famers that are with us today that were in our previous classes, and in no special order, although I have Brady first here. Denny Brady, stand up, Denny. Steve Roosh. Larry Garner. Tony Albright. And Tom Kriegel. And then I'll introduce our committee real quickly, our Hall of Fame committee that Jack, I forgot Jack. That was me. And Jack, stand back up. Jack's on our Hall of Fame committee too, along with Sean Johns, Yogi, Jim Olds in the back, Mark Strader, who's not here, Tony Albrecht, head coach Clayton Richard, myself, and then Coach Fields. And Coach Fields couldn't make it today. He's just not feeling up to it, but we wish him the best. And Coach Strader is in Mexico. I don't know why you're not this way. Okay, having introduced everyone. Oh, Sweet Lou, Jeff Lusadder running our videotape over here. Sweet Lou. Where is it that be able to find this video?
It'll be on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yep. You just put the title in, the year, and it'll be there.
Okay, everybody hear that? YouTube. All right, our first inductee for the class of 2022, which is our 6th Jeff Baseball Hall of Fame class. Our first inductee, and he's obviously not with us today, passed away in 2002, John Everly. And John was a longtime contributor to Lafayette baseball. Jeff graduated class of 1945. While being a Jeff grad, John never played for the Broncos, but he did coach both basketball and baseball in the Lafayette schools and helped contribute to Jeff's success even when he was still in high school. Due to a shortage of male adults during World War II, John was accepted into the coaching ranks at age 16. He then entered the service and served for 2 years, then returned to Lafayette and completed his college degree at Purdue in 1953. In 1957, John was named the head coach for both basketball and baseball at at that time, Central Catholic High School, and stayed there until 1970. He then transitioned over to the Lafayette School Corporation, where he finished his teaching career and helped as an assistant coach for the Broncos. But the real reason we are honoring John today is his contribution to Lafayette summer baseball and to the history of the old Loeb Stadium. He was a longtime coach in our Colt League and for Post 11, developing several players who would go on to much success for the Broncos. And some of those people are here today. Along with Harry Bradway, he helped bring the Colt League World Series to Lafayette, where it remained for over 30 years. Additionally, John's summer job for years and years was as the head groundskeeper on the old Loeb Stadium field. There were very few playing surfaces around which could match what he manicured for our facility. Plus, he was the king of maintaining a perfect pitching mound. And I think some of us know that. Totally did. John loved hanging around the ballpark and was a friend and mentor to many of us. The old Loeb Stadium opened in 1942, and John saw all the first events which took place through its history. Being one of his good friends, my one regret is that we never chronicled his stories in writing. And some of us in here know how good some of his Loeb Stadium stories were. And there were several of those. His influence on Jeff Baseball will be remembered for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, John Everly. And unfortunately, as far as we know, John has no living relatives. So I'll be more than happy to accept this on his behalf, and we'll find a nice place for his plaque. Up next, Clay Snellgrove, class of 1993, shortstop. Before I read his stuff here, we were talking earlier. I remember as a freshman when he got called up to the varsity because Doug Tyson got hurt. He was a shortstop. We brought this freshman up in the JV team, and you were maybe 5'2". And I'm laughing because obviously he turned out to be one of the best guys we've ever had. We had the position more up the middle of the field, and you couldn't play on the back of the grass because the throw. He fielded everything that was hit at him. He just had to get to a position where he could throw it across the infield. I say that facetiously because, as we know, by the time he left here and then went on to what he did, and you're going to hear about that in a second, his growth and his development in baseball is just unbelievable. And so I'm not demeaning that. I'm just telling you where he started from. And it was just great to watch him grow. He was a 4-year starter at shortstop for the Broncos, and he was the strength of our defense up the middle. He holds the state record for 7th best putouts and assists in a season at 152, and the 3rd best in a career at at 410. That's state records. A 306 career hitter, Clay holds the following records as a Bronco. He's 9th in career bats at 320, 5th in season runs at 40, 9th in career hits at 98, and 8th in career doubles at 18. An all-conference selection for 2 years, he was also academic all-state in his senior year. And if we had tracked defensive stats during his career, I'm sure he would hold several of the records here for the Broncos. His summer baseball history, he played for the 1991 Lafayette Colt All-Stars in the Colt World Series. He was then selected to join the winning team, which was Tuscan, California, in the Super Series against the other World Series winners. During his 2 seasons with Lafayette Post 11, they were state runners-up in 92 and state champs in 93. And he led the state Legion season in batting in 1992 as well. His post-high school baseball experience, Clay was the starting shortstop all 4 years at Middle Tennessee State University. He left the school as the all-time hits leader, was an Ohio Valley all-conference player, and set the single-season hits record for the conference. He played summer ball for 3 years in Hornell, New York, Newmarket, Virginia, and the Alaskan League, where he won the batting title. He was drafted in the 24th round of the 1997 MLB draft by the San Diego Padres, and in 4 seasons played at every level of their minor league system, from rookie ball to AAA. Following that, he then played for the Canton Crocodiles in the Independent Frontier League and won the league batting title while setting a record for most hits this season. He finished his professional career in 2002 playing for the Joliet Jackhammers. Was that for Rice? Did you play for Rice?
King Crocodiles was for us.
Ah, so he played for Jeff Ison. The son of Jack, pastor of First Christian Church in Atlanta, who was an English teacher here at Jeff. Stand up, Jack. I know what you please. Clay married his wife, Erin, in 2002. And they have 2 sons, Canton and Cooper. They moved to Middle Tennessee in 2003 and started bases loaded baseball and softball school. Erin's a former softball player. He helps coach at his wife's CrossFit gym, has worked as an EMT, and taught composition part-time, along with mom's footsteps, part-time at Motlow Community College over the last 2 decades. If that's not enough, Clay published a baseball novel in 2007 called The Ball Player. Clay also lettered 1 year in swimming his freshman year here at Jeff, and his best memories of Jeff baseball, beating the top-ranked Logan Berries to win the 1991 North Central Conference title, playing with Ryan Cole and Freddie Reyes, and others, as part of one of the most explosive offensive teams in school history, and the long days of practice under the lights at Logan Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay Snellgrove.
All right, so can you hear me okay? Freddie's going to be here in an hour and a half, so what's that, 45 minutes to me, 45 minutes to you? All right, thank you, Coach Holmes. I got the call that I would be recognized as a Lafayette Jeff Baseball Hall of Famer, and I was really excited. Listening to my resume of baseball, I feel good about what I did, but I never felt like in high school I gave to Jeff what the Jeff experience gave to me. As Coach Holmes said, I was small. I was a late bloomer, so didn't hit puberty until my sophomore year. And I was a good ball player. I love baseball. Played in the little leagues and could always find a position on the field. I hit, I think, 1 or 2 home runs in Little League over at the small Murdoch Park. And I was saying how we heard about legends like Ryan hitting, 15, 20 home runs. And so, I couldn't say that my confidence as a hitter or a dominant player was high. We played our 13 and 14-year-old Pony League baseball on the old field that now is no longer, right out here. The dimensions of that field were 300 down the line, 350 in center. As a 13 and 14-year-old, I had no chance of hitting the ball out of that park. And I celebrated when there would be a couple weeks of no rain, they mowed the grass, and it was brown. I would catch a line drive in the gap, and I'd roll one to the fence. That was a huge accomplishment for me. So baseball tryouts for the high school came, and they were on that field, and I took my glove, and I went to try out. And they asked for infielders to report to shortstop and outfielders to report to right field. And so I really thought quickly, I said, okay, I'm going to this big high school where this is just a JV field. What am I best at? And I can catch pop flies all day long. I can track them down. My best childhood memories were when my dad would take me out and hit fly balls to me, and I would stay out there with him as long as he stayed out there with me. So I ran out to right field to try out for the high school team as an outfielder. And so they were hitting us some flies, some grounders. We were trying to throw to third, and I was super nervous, just hoping I could make the team. And then I hear Coach Primavera saying, like, where's Snellgrove? Where's Snellgrove? Snellgrove. And, I raised my hand in the middle of the line in right field. And he's like, come to shortstop, And so, all of a sudden, he had heard about me. And he, I guess, knew I should be a shortstop. So went to shortstop, fielded my ground balls, and I made the team. Now, that made me feel good, but I still did not have confidence that I was going to be able to play at this big high school. Everything about Jeff High School baseball was big. Everything about Jeff High School, from my perspective, was big time. Loeb Stadium was as good as any professional stadium. The locker room being in the sort of the hollows of the stadium there, it was just like a professional stadium. The shows I'd seen, the lore I'd seen, you had to walk on the concrete with your metal spikes to get to the field. There's something special about that. And then the players that were playing at the time, Jeff Eisen and Kevin Tyson had been drafted out of the high school program. Doug Tyson's brother was playing shortstop. We had, I remember names, Andy Lorman and Andy Pruitt. And then I remember finding out that Coach Olds had played for Indiana University. And this just seemed like just big time baseball that I was just lucky to be on the fringes of. So I didn't know if I belonged, I just knew I was lucky to be there. So a few weeks into the JV season, and we would leave school, we'd have our locker room here, we'd go out to the JV field, and probably pretty typical to most people's high school experiences. I get a call, Coach Primavera found me, and he told me that I needed to be at Loeb Stadium that day, and that I would be riding the bus. Did we go to Carmel? One of the teams in Indianapolis. That needed to be at the field, so 15 minutes after school. He didn't tell me how I was to get there, and I didn't drive. So my mom, I believe, was teaching at the time, so I went to her classroom, and I think my dad made sure he came over and picked me up, drove me over to the field, and there's no way I was going to ask an older player to drive me. I was so nervous. So got on the bus, they gave me a uniform, and Coach Primavera said I would be starting at shortstop, which, you know, it went well. I made my plays, I threw some people out. They didn't have a bat that really was small enough for me at the time, so that's why that's my excuse for striking out that day. But on the bus ride home, you know, Coach Holt sat down and just went over the game with me, and he said, I think you did about as well as you could probably do. And so I thought, okay, that's good. Well, because of Doug's injury, he wasn't able to come back, and they kept me in the starting lineup. So here I was my freshman year, and, you know, Coach Primavera, you know, for all of his coaching style, one thing he did do is he made it feel big time. And it was hard, but he kept putting me in the lineup. And so that sort of gave me confidence and validated me as a real player. So, you know, without that opportunity and without the confidence they put in me, I may have not believed in myself as much as I needed to continue through high school and then on to the rest of my college and my professional career. So as Coach Holt said, you know, one of my best memories was you know, winning that conference title, because it was, you know, the North Central Conference was just better than everybody else, right? And to win it was a special moment, and we did it with defense and with offense, and it was just a complete team. And when it all came together, it was a special feeling. But I'm honored to be here. You know, I look back, I've driven around. This is the first time I've spent a night in Lafayette, Indiana in 20 years. And I went back and went to the new Lowe's Stadium, of course, and some on stopping grounds. And, you know, this is where I fell in love with sports and fell in love with baseball. And then it was my high school experience here at Jeff that, you know, really made the decision for me that, like, if I put my time and energy into the game, that it could serve me well, and it did. So I'm just super appreciative of Coach Holt and all the coaches that I had, the teammates that I had here at Jeff, because it really did set the stage for just such an enjoyable run in the game of baseball. I was super fortunate. So thank you for having me, and, you know, it's an honor. Thank you.
One discussion, but he and I had a couple of years I coached when he was playing. We had several discussions, and I consider myself a baseball guru to some degree. This guy could challenge my thinking even as a high school coach, so I enjoyed it, so it was fun. Place note. Up next, Ryan Cole. And before I get into Ryan's bio here, again, I was coaching, and we knew of Ryan from Pony League. He was on a very good Pony League group of players, good all-star team. We had made it a point to watch some of those Pony games, and we knew, based on who we had coming in for that 91 season, which was Yogi's senior year, we needed a center fielder. And we looked in the program, and even before we started winter workouts, we knew who our starting center fielder was going to be. It was this guy. And so from day one, he started in center field, and I eventually convinced Coach Primavera to pitch him too. At first, he didn't want to put him on the mound, and I said, wait a minute, we're missing one of our best pitchers. He's got to throw too. So we got Ryan on the mound, and as they say, the rest is history. He had a wonderful career for us and beyond. So, without hesitation, like I said, he was a 4-year starter for the Broncos in center field and on the mound, a career 335 hitter. He holds the following records as a Bronco: 8th all-time in hits for a season at 44, 5th in career at-bats at 343, 4th in career hits at 115, 10th in season RBIs at 34, 6th in career RBIs at 76, and 5th in career home runs at 8. You know, and when I talk about home runs for Bronco records, most people outside of our community don't understand how hard it was to hit a home run at Lode Stadium, especially when the wind was blowing in from the south. So that's a big number. On the mound, he had a 20-8 career record with a 2.3 ERA with the following pitching records. He's all-time 8th in season wins at 11, 9th in career innings at 168, and 9th in career wins at 20. As a Bronco, Ryan won the Jeff Booster Club Academic Athletic Award, was on the All-NCC team, was the 1994 team MVP, was a 1994 honorable mention All-State, and was a 1994 Indiana All-Star. For his summer history, Ryan was a 2-year player in the Colt World Series for the Lafayette Colt All-Stars and was the 1992 League Player of the Year. He was a member of the 1992 Post-11 State Runner-Up Team and a member of the 1993 Indiana Bulls travel team. Ryan then went on and was a 4-year starter at Purdue, playing shortstop, third base, and first base. While playing for the Boilers, Ryan received the following awards. He was a 4-year academic All-Big Ten, a Red Mackey Award recipient, a Durham Brothers Leadership Award recipient, was the 1999 co-captain, and was the 1999 team MVP. Ryan has been married for 17 years to his wonderful wife, Mandy. Stand up. And they have 3 boys, Cade, Crew, and did Cash make it? There he is. Stand up, guys. He has been an elementary teacher in the Lafayette School Corporation for 22 years and was a 2013 Greater Lafayette Community Golden Apple Award recipient. Ryan was a 10-year baseball and football coach at Jeff and has currently been an 11-year coach for youth baseball, football, and basketball at North Montgomery, which is where all 3 of his boys are currently playing. He is the current director of the North Montgomery Baseball Club and assistant varsity baseball coach at North Montgomery. His best memory of Jeff baseball as a freshman getting the walk-off hit versus Richmond to win the NCC title. And that was a huge hit. I was coaching first and that line right into the right field. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Cole.
Well, that was a great speech by Clay that I have to follow up here. But you didn't use your 45 minutes, so I've got plenty of time. First of all, I'd like the rest of my family to stand up. I've got several here today, so if you all stand up for me. Take that. As Clay said, a lot of us might be reiterating the same things that he said. We were a year apart and experienced a lot of the same highs through our career, through the youth leagues and all that as well. But thank you to the committee who selected us. It's quite an honor. I mean, Lafayette Jeff has a rich history of sports in general, but baseball for sure. So it's quite an honor to be mentioned amongst some of those names that we see growing up in the record books, just in the history of baseball here at Jeff. So I appreciate the recognition, and along with Coach Everly and Clay and Freddie, couldn't be happier to be inducted with that group of guys. Coach Everly was here when we were playing. Just my memories of him were in the bullpen, kind of keep an eye on the pitchers and I guess on the mound as well. I don't recall that as much, but he definitely sat down there and supervised a lot. Clay and Freddie, a lot of great memories with them. We'll get to a couple of stories here in just a minute with those guys. My coaches, Coach Olds is here, obviously. He's there with us. Big impact on me as a young man. Coach Primavera, I still don't know how to say his name. And we say it both ways, and I think it's said it both ways. Does anybody really know how? Tony, you can call him that. Nobody can call him that. And then Coach Gilliland, would you stand up, please? Give him a round of applause. So Coach Gilliland came in my senior year. Honestly, as a high school kid, you had the same coach for 3 years and kind of get used to their style. And then you had a new coach coming your senior year, and you're not really sure what to expect. And he came in and kind of laid the expectations out for us, and he's kind of no nonsense is the way it's going to be, and, which really wasn't a lot different from Coach Primavera. I mean, he laid it on the line for us, and he did what he expected to do. He sat the bench. So, but I appreciate you being here today. He's been the Laporte athletic director for 25 years now, and about to retire. So, awesome to see you here as well. Just going back a little bit in some of my memories. When I got the call, of course, that jogs all of your memories growing up, and we grew up I moved here when I was 10 years old. When I was 10 years old, 9 years old, we played live arm where I lived over by Marion, Indiana. And so we moved here when I was 10, and it was a pitching machine. And I was like, what is this? This is going to be cake. And it was pretty simple, so it's kind of made a step back that first year. And then we get into the Bronco League. We had, at that time, Murdoch and Armstrong was kind of the rivalry between the two sides of town. So a lot of good memories there. J.D. Dukes, who isn't here today, but he was kind of the monster over Armstrong. As far as a pitcher you didn't want to face. And so it's fun to think back to some of those memories and some of those experiences that we had. Murdoch, he mentioned some home runs. It looked a lot bigger back then, more recently. It's not there now, but it was some good times. Growing up, coming up to the high school level, I was a shortstop. That's what I did. That's what I expected to do. And so I get up here as a freshman, and I hear there's a sophomore played with the past few years as a shortstop. Come on, we'll get a shortstop. And so there was a little animosity. I don't know if Clay ever felt that from me, because as a freshman, you come in, you just want to be. They say you're going to play varsity. Put me anywhere, I'll play wherever you put me. And so obviously Coach Olds, Coach Primavera had a plan in mind for where they were going to put me. So they stick me out there in center field. I never laid out the pitch. I didn't know really what to do. But obviously they made the right call to play. Being a shortstop, going on being, in my opinion, the best that I've seen at the high school level of shortstop, as far as that is concerned. Sorry, over there. Chris Walker, I played with Purdue, shortstop here a couple years ago. He was pretty good too. But just playing, knowing the game. I mean, as Coach Holt said, he knew the game. I mean, he talked about the kids studying the game and just knowing what to do. I think this was maybe for the infield flyer or something, right? He had played one time with a hard ball hit the middle line drive. He was the dice for it, dropped it on purpose, so he could help play on the guy. And I thought, man, that was smart. I remember seeing him drop the ball. And I was like, he did it on purpose. So you pick it up, step on second, and then turn two. So those little things like that stick out in my mind. But anyway, my first practice, it's mid-March or something. And I come in a little nervous and trying to prove myself. Coach said, you're going to be a center fielder. I said, all right. I go out. First practice, we're warming up, doing stretches down the first right foot line. And we're doing jumping jacks. And all of a sudden I hear Coach Primavera scream. And he was only 5'7", seemed like a 6'2", 240 kind of guy. He comes stomping out there. I was in trouble. And he comes back to me and I'm like, what I do? I was just doing jumping jacks. It was cold. If you don't do the jump jacks the right way, you will never see this field. I thought I was doing jump jacks the right way, so I made sure I did it the right way from that point on. And to this day, I can't do a jump jack. I remember it. So it's helped me as I'm now an elementary PE teacher. I've been doing that for 2 years. So it's helped me in the PE in the classroom with make sure they do it the right way. Yeah, my greatest memory on the field was definitely that hit against Richmond. Again, I struck out I think 6 times in a row leading up to that. I was freshman that year. And I looked at coach and I think I was down 2 strikes. And I looked down at him and he was third. He was just like this. I tell my coach in high school now, I tell my kids, I said, you can't ever have that lack of confidence. As a hitter, you got to go in there confident. And I did. I had confidence. Every pitch I'm in up there, I know I'm going to hit the ball. So in that moment, even as a freshman, I knew I was going to hit the ball, even though I struck out the last 6 times in a row. And so, sure enough, I hit that pitch, and it seemed like yesterday. I still, remember seeing that ball from that in the right field, and coach there first base, I'm rounding the bag, and pointing, make sure I got a bag. Here comes Mr. Shabbat around third base to score the winning run. But those kinds of things, they leave those last memories. I remember after the game, I'm standing with the towel, thinking I'm big time with Jeff Loffer interviewing me for the Journal and Courier. Somebody took a picture I had somewhere at some point. We just standing there getting the interview, so it was super cool. It's Yo right here, playing with him when I was a freshman, a great senior leader. And all of our seniors that year were awesome. I think Chip was a senior Hamill, Pruitt was a senior that year. Who am I missing? Just great leadership. Shoot. So, you got to have that with any successful team, that leadership, and those seniors always did that for us. They took some of the wing, Chip was from left field out of the center, and he taught me a lot about being an outfielder. So, that's cool. Freddie comes in when I was a junior, I believe. He was a sophomore. He was one of the kids from the Puerto Rican team that ended up staying here in the World Series. And just a great guy. Great guy. And my own story, I remember a lot about Freddie. I was telling my family this yesterday. We were batting practice, and his coach said it wasn't easy to hit a ball out of the. It was hard. And we're batting practice, and he hit him out there all the time. He just smokes one to the left field. And I'm standing there, I'm like, I said, what's going on? I'm looking at it, it's flight. All of a sudden, what the heck? And it started rolling. It landed on Arnie's roof and started rolling down the roof. And I was like, that is the farthest ball I've ever seen hit. Just unbelievable power for a high school kid. So anyway, I wish he could be here. He's an awesome guy, and obviously you guys go over to the club afterwards. Hopefully you can see him there. But this place that I'll wrap up here, the memories we have and what we developed as players, what the program gave to us, is what we took on, not just here but beyond into our lives. I think developed us as people, not just as a baseball player. And, I'm proud to be a Bronco. Was a Bronco, always a Bronco, and I will be. As coach down over now, I still have the red and black in my blood, and have those good memories to build a foundation for me as a player going on, but also a person. And so I appreciate everybody that helped me to develop as a person, as a player. I appreciate the committee for recognizing me, Clay, Freddie, Coach Everly. I appreciate all of you being here today. So thank you very much.
Ryan Cole. I think your senior year, you had a pretty good game against Richmond over there, too. Isn't that right, Ed? He's on the mound in Richmond. We beat.
Created a little excitement over there.
Yeah. I think wasn't Richmond #1 in the state at the time we beat him. You on the mound. Pardon?
They didn't play the second game.
Yeah, John Kate was mad. We all won. Like I said before, I'm gonna get into Freddie's bio because I want all of you to hear it. I'm gonna repeat this when we go over to the other pub and he shows up. 2 quick stories about Freddie, and it involves Coach Gilliland. Ed's first year here, we're doing morning workouts. He's dropping his head because this is a good story. We're doing morning workouts at 6 a.m. in the auxiliary gym. And Freddie is on the mound. He's ready to pitch too. He can throw it pretty well. And if you've seen the movie Bull Durham, Freddie was lollygagging. And Ed didn't like it. And then Ed got on him. Freddie threw 3 fastballs. They had to be well over 90 miles an hour. Bang, bang, bang. And this is after he threw the third one, he turned around and stared at Ed. Because he was tough. And Ed took his clipboard and broke it over that school desk and said, "Start running." And Freddie ran around that auxiliary gym. And every time he came around the corner, he was staring daggers through it. We go in the coach's locker room after that, and Ed tells me and some of the other assistant coaches, he goes, "I'm cutting his ass." And I said, "Whoa, time out." I said, "Hang on." He goes, "Did you see him?" He said, "He's worthless, he's not in shape, I'm cutting him." And we all said, hang on. Don't you dare cut him until you have batting practice. And we said, once you see him hit, if you still want to coach or cut him, then that's fine. But you got to see him hit first. And Ed goes, he can't be that good. He just can't. We said, okay, just let him hit. So I think the first day they went upstairs in the balcony and had the nets down. And Freddie hit a line drive that I think just obliterated one of the pitching mills. I mean, it blew up because he hit it so hard. After that, Ed goes, thank God I didn't cut him. He, as I will say later, and I'll say it to Freddie's face, there's been very few high school hitters that I've seen hit the ball like Freddie Reyes. One of them sitting right here, Tom Kriegel, Denny Brady, these guys, the way they can hit. I've never seen a high school kid have the power like Freddie Reyes. In that first year, we said to Ed, we said, now look, when Freddie takes batting practice, you've got to put pitchers outside the wall. And he goes, what? I said, you got to put them over there, Arnie's and the custard. I said, if you don't put guys over there on the other side of the fence, I said, you're going to run out of balls in the first week. He goes, no way. I said, yes, I just remember to do that. Well, he did. And good thing they were over there, right? That's just the power that kid had. So anyhow, I'll cut this short and go through his bio. He was a 3-year starter for the Broncos at first base and on the mound, a career .404 hitter. He appears in the Bronco records book as follows. All-time third in season batting average at .483, fifth in career batting average at .404, fifth in career hits at 113, first in season RBIs at 44, first in career RBIs at 102, third in season doubles at 11, fourth in career doubles at 24, second in season home runs at 8. And that record was just broken last year by Caleb Copeland. First in career home runs at 20, second in season walks at 39, ninth in career walks at 62, and third in career total bases at 207. In 1994, he was all-conference co-MVP with Ryan Cole and one of the 2 juniors to be selected as first-team All-State. In 1995, he was first-team All-State on the National All-USA Today high school team, all-conference MVP, had an All-Star Game invitation, and was an honorable mention for Indiana Mr. Baseball title. Summer baseball history, he played only 1 summer of baseball here in Lafayette, and in 36 at-bats, he hit .583 with 21 hits, 7 home runs, and 25 RBIs. He also, as Ryan mentioned earlier, he played for Puerto Rico in the 1992 Cold World Series. After the 95 high school season, Freddie was drafted in the 18th round of the MLB draft by the Minnesota Twins. In his second year of advanced rookie ball, he was selected to the Appalachian League All-Star team. In 1996, while playing for the Elizabethan Twins, he was selected as the Appalachian League's Hitter of the Week for 2 consecutive weeks, and as a result was the Minnesota Twins Minor League Player of the Week, reaching base in 23 consecutive games. Freddie is married to his wife, Leda Concepcion Marquez, and has 2 daughters, Amanda and Ava. He has been an account manager for 17 years at World Fitness Centers of Puerto Rico, and a volunteer at HOF worldwide for the same time frame, mentoring youth in their life struggles. Freddie has also dabbled in theatrical performances on stage and in play titled I've Got Big News at some of the most important arts venues in San Juan. He stated that it's one of his most gratifying experiences he's ever had. His best memory of Jeff baseball, the support I received from the Lafayette community during my senior year eligibility case and all 3 years playing at Jeff. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Williams. And again, he's on his way. For those who don't know, he flew into Fort Lauderdale yesterday. All his flights were canceled in Fort Lauderdale. He and his family rented a van and have driven overnight. They're still on their way, so he thought he'd get here about 6:30. So that's how much he wants to be here, and I know to see some of these guys and these guys. So when he does get here, I hope we can give him a good welcome and make it worth his while. That's the end of our formal presentation. Yes.
I got to make Ryan Cole one thing.
Okay. We're setting a bad precedent.
I know we are.
So we talked about Armstrong Park and the rivalry with Barack. Well, big bad JD Dukes did not win the championship game that year because this guy single-handedly beat him. And I know that because JD's coach. So.
Didn't get to introduce Coach Walker. Chris Walker came in, one of our assistant coaches, and good supporter. Chris, good to have you here. I don't think Clayton's made it yet, has he?
No, they're behind.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. So, having said all this, I invite all of you over to Walt's Other Pub. I reserved the upstairs room for all of us. So there'll be hors d'oeuvres and some things there. Now, if you want drinks and adult beverages, that's on your ticket because I don't have a budget. But we want everybody to come and enjoy, and we'll tell some tall stories it's maybe a few lies, but it exaggerates the things. So, again, am I missing anything, guys? Okay. Thank you all for coming. Earlier when we did our inductions, so I'm going to say it again for you and your wife and your daughters, okay? And what I do is I read a bio on everybody. I've got yours here. And then I've got some stuff for you, of course. What I said before I got into your bio was a couple good stories. And Coach Gilliland can witness this. We were in the morning workouts at 6 a.m., if you remember those, and you were pitching. Okay. And you thought you had a sore arm, remember? And Coach Gilliland said, "Come on, Freddie, what the heck?" The fire, you got fired up. You threw 3 strikes. Boom, boom, boom. And I don't know how fast you were throwing, but it's boom, boom, boom. And then you turned and stared at him. I remember when he broke the clipboard over the desk and said, "Run." And so you're running, and every time you come around, you're daggers. You're staring daggers. You don't know, but we went to Coach's office, and he said, "I'm cutting. I'm cutting him." We said, "Hang on, you got to watch him hit first." And he said, "He can't be that good." We said, "Yes, he is. Hang on." Well, the next week when you guys started hitting, you hit a line drive that destroyed the pitching out. I mean, it obliterated that screen, the pitching out. And he said, "Okay, never mind." And then the other story was, I told him, I said, "Now when you guys take batting practice and Freddie's hitting," I said, "you got to put pitchers on the other side of the outfield wall, in the street, in front of Arnie's and Custer." He goes, "What?" I said, "You got to put them over there. If you don't, you're going to lose too many baseballs." He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Trust me. When Freddie's hitting, you got to put guys on the other side of the wall." He did, and sure enough, first time I showed up at practice, he goes, "Boy, you were right." He said, "We would have lost, I don't know how many balls for batting practice, right?" Yeah. And I said, and again, to compliment you, I've watched baseball I'm too old to count the number of years. I've never seen a high school hitter hit the ball as hard as you. I mean, seriously. I've watched a lot of good players. So has Ed. So has a bunch of people in this room. The way you could crush baseball is amazing for a high school player. So my compliment to you is that's the best I've ever seen at the high school level. So Freddie Rich. Now, I'm going to read what I have written for you, okay? Okay. So bear with me, please. Freddie was a 3-year starter for the Broncos at first base and on the mound. A career .404 hitter, he appears in the Bronco record books as follows. Girls, your dad was very good. Okay, these are Nintendo statistics. He is all-time third in season batting average at .483, fifth in career batting average at .404, fifth in career hits at 113, first in season RBIs at 44, first in career RBIs at 102, third in season doubles at 11, fourth in career doubles at 24, second in season home runs at 8. That record was just broken last year, your season home run record. First in career home runs at 20. And I'll stop here for a second. Loeb Stadium, as you know and as everybody knows, was a big park, a major league park. To hit home runs in Loeb Stadium for high school kids was tough. To have 20 career home runs in the old Loeb Stadium is amazing. Amazing. And we've had, Lafayette Jefferson, several really good players. To hit 20 is unbelievable. Second in season base on balls at 39, ninth in career base on balls at 62, and third in career total bases at 207. In 1994, you were named All-Conference, co-MVP with Ryan Miller, and one of two juniors to be selected as first-team All-State. In 1995, you were first-team All-State on the National All-USA Today high school team, All-Conference MVP, and an All-Star Game invitation, which, by the way, you can play it because you got drafted, and was honorable mention for Indiana Mr. Baseball title. Played one summer of baseball here in Lafayette. I think it was for the old Lafayette White Sox. Yes, White Sox. And in 36 at-bats, he hit .583 with 21 hits, 7 home runs, and 25 RBIs.
It's crazy.
That's
crazy.
That's Nintendo. And you also played for Puerto Rico in the 1992 Cold World Series here in Lafayette, which is where we got to know you. After the 1995 high school season, Freddie was drafted in the 18th round of the MLB draft by the Minnesota Twins. In his second year of advanced rookie ball, he was selected to the Appalachian League All-Star team. In 1996, while playing for the Elizabethan Twins, he was selected as the Appalachian League's Hitter of the Week for 2 consecutive weeks, and as a result, is the Minnesota Twins Minor League Player of the Week, reaching base in 23 consecutive games. Freddie is married to his wife, I hope I get this pronounced right, Leda Concepcion Marquez. Is that good? That was good. And his 2 daughters, Amanda and Ava. Is that right, Ava? They're both, Amanda's 11, Ava's 9, correct?
Yeah.
He has been an account manager for 17 years at World Fitness Centers of Puerto Rico. They volunteer at Hope Worldwide for the same time frame, mentoring youth through their life struggles. Freddie also dabbled, and I know you're proud of this, in the theatrical performances on stage in a play titled I've Got Big News, at the most important arts venue in San Juan. He stated it's one of the most gratifying experiences he's ever had. And I'll let you talk more about that in your life. Best memory of Jeff baseball, the support I received from the Lafayette community during my senior year eligibility case and all 3 years playing for the Broncos. Ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Ray. The floor is yours if you want to say anything.
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Actually, talked to my father a lot, and I said I know exactly what I'm going to say.
Take your time. Take your time.
No, it's just that my senior year was it's tough. I got that news that I wasn't going to be able to play. I saw this kid come from Puerto Rico. You're aware what the team is about, and guys that play hard and earn the spot. In a way, you fight to earn the spot, and you're taking it from somebody else. And but I had never received any claim or anything like that from anybody on the team. In the senior year, I received the encouragement, the people that were from my family and never had anybody, step up for me, ever. And saw a community come together and back me up, go to bat for me, go to court. Mr. Seeger, I know he probably don't want me to say this, but he helped me. He didn't charge me one time. And he went to bat for me, and we were together. Sacrificed a lot, and people that aren't here, Sublime, Joe Heath, everybody in here. The thing I gotta tell you is that what I became is because of everybody in here. And there are ones that are not here. I'm very clear about that. Because if I would have received that encouragement and that backup and that friendship and that love, I don't know where I would be. So I just want to say thank you, appreciate you, and I love you. And I want my daughters to see this. You don't become anything. You don't learn, listen, apply what people I love around you tell you. And that's what I did. That's what got me to where I got. I became a prospect. General manager Terry Ryan called me that summer, came to watch me play, hit a home run. That home run that I hit was the one that put me back, and I tore my wrist. But because of that, I got my family. And I got you guys. Thank you. And to be here and have the opportunity to say thank you, and that I'm grateful for each and every one of you, I can't be any more blessed. Like I told them, this is better than Major League Hall of Fame, for sure. So God's plan is perfect. And I'm living it, and I'm enjoying every second of the fact that plane got canceled. I said, you know what? I'm getting a minivan. And I saw that application, it said 1,100, I don't know how many miles. But we made it, and you guys are here. I'm just getting any more grateful about that. Thank you.
Yay! Yes, you may. I've got, just a second, I've got some things for you.
Thank you.
That's the current brochure for Jeff Baseball, which has every record.
Okay.
I wish Clayton Richard was here. He's our new coach. You may remember Clayton because he was. He's got stuff in there for you. That Bronco hat, new hat. I'll let you try them on in a minute and see which one fits.
I'm not leaving
No, no. You get one.
Thank you.
Matter of fact,
We all get one.
try this on, see if it fits. Is it too big?
A little bit.
Let's try. I'm sorry, Dave.
You're fine. Did you get my size? Real quick, I gotta say this because my mom will kill me if I don't.
She will.
She says she's even more grateful than I am. I think that's what she's trying to say. So she's very grateful for you guys as a mother, as parents. I just wanted to say thank you. So now I said it, and now when she asked me to tell her.
You should just call her.
Right?
Why not?
FaceTime evidence?
Yeah.
That's good, that's good.
Am I not on that?
Thank you.
Ed?
Freddie, I'm just really thrilled to be here. You know, I wasn't always, and I'm really thrilled to see Brennan and all these guys here. I mean, all the.
You bring up Tevin out of all?
Eat
There we go.
But I mean, all these guys are your classmates, and it's a thrill for me to be here and for you to recognize that, Coach, I was pretty hard on you. You know, one of the things that Coach Olds didn't mention is that I think you lost 30 pounds that year that I was pushing you pretty hard. And it just is a thrill for me to be here with all of you guys. You know, all of you guys. And what a great class. I'm so thrilled to be here. You made a special trip to come up here. I can't tell you how happy I am for you and how proud I am of all of you guys. But to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and be a part of this, I'm really thrilled. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. You're deserving of every honor you get, pal.
Thank you. Here's something real quick, Coach.
Sure.
When I signed pro, everywhere you go, you got to run. You guys remember that?
I've never signed pro.
So when I got there, it was like, to me, it was like, everybody else was like, what is this running to every, you know, I'm getting tired of running here and there. It's like, you don't run? To me, it was normal. So I was in shape.
All of you guys
I had to tell you.
a little better coach than I really was. I mean, you made me look a little better than I was. And all of I'm really proud of all of you. I mean, it's great. And Freddie, I tell you, we would have driven to Puerto Rico for this one, I guess. We'd have to get a plane from somewhere. We would have been there. So very well deserved, pal.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, one of the things even more impressive, and I don't think it's been brought up yet, is the fact that, you know, our names are in the record books, but it took Clay and I 4 years to get in those record books. It only took you 3 years. And you're still ahead of us.
Two home runs I remember of yours. One, you hit straightaway left at the old Loeb Stadium, and again, we're talking big league dimensions. And it hit in the Arnie's parking lot and bounced over Arnie's. And then the most amazing one, you cleared that left field light tower, and it hit in the back of the Custard lot.
Yeah.
Had it been 10 feet to the right, it would have hit the Custard building. Not the awning, the building. And I was up in the press box, you know, doing the PA and keeping the book, and I saw that, and I saw where it hit. That's the furthest, that's as far as I've ever seen a ball hit at the old Loeb Stadium. I mean, that was unbelievable, right, Spitz?
Yeah, well, you two busy on the wall.
No, well.
You know what you're
But I'm really hoping, Freddie, and you can tell me this, I'm hoping that me being such an ass and pushing you guys, I hope you're better people because
Here.
Because I wasn't very easy to be around.
Yes, I agree.
I'm hoping you guys, I'm hoping you're successful and what you're doing, all of you are successful. We have a little bit of an influence to push you to be a little better. And that's all I wanted to do.
100%. 100%.
You know why I know it's true? Because we remember the details that made us great. Every minute that you were late, you did what? You didn't want to laugh. Don't matter if you're cramping.
You know, do you remember the story you and Juan and somebody else came in a little late and you guys kind of moseyed in a little bit and thought you'd get a little special treatment. You just didn't. I hope that carried over.
Oh, it did.
Hey,
Put you
Freddie.
where you're at.
You know, it's 10 to 10. Get started. Let's go. We'll get on a chair to try to. Hey, Freddie, I can say, like, when we, part of the the committee that most people in, obviously you were first. I was like, there's no way Freddie's going to make the trip from Puerto Rico. For you to be here today, and obviously the journey you guys made, obviously after you landed in Fort Lauderdale, is amazing. And I'm so proud that you're part of the Bronco family, and that it means that much to you. You're all part of it, but that it means that much to you, and I'm so proud of that. You're amazing, and I'm so glad you're here today.
Thanks for here.
I think we ought to let them get some drinks and food.
Yes. You got to go run some laps.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming out.